This is a Chucky Beat production.
Hey, what is going on YouTube? My name is James and welcome to my first ever watch review on this channel. For those of you who don't know who I am, let me briefly explain. I'm James, this is my channel. I do daily vlogging on here. I used to do gameplay videos on here, but now I keep that more towards Twitch. So I stream on Twitch, daily vlog over here. That's about it really, and now I'm starting reviewing my watches. So yeah, let's get into it. So I just want to make a quick disclaimer. I am not a watch expert, I'm not a watch dealer, I'm not a watchmaker. I'm just someone who has a keen interest in watchmaking and watches in general, timepieces, all that kind of stuff. By far I am no expert, so don't take this as genuine fact, just take it as more opinion and based on what I know. Now the structure I'm using is inspired by the Urban Gentry TGV. I'll leave a link to his channel down below, so I just want to get that out of the way. And also the camera I'm using is the Canon 70D. This isn't my camera. I want to say a huge thank you to Ahmed and Yim for letting me use it, so thank you. I should probably do a customary wristwatch check as TGV and all them would do. So right now I am wearing my Citizen Eagle 7 on a nice suede strap bracelet to go along with it. Beautiful watch. I'll probably review this in the future as well. But today we're going to be reviewing my first ever automatic watch, the watch that got me into watches in general pretty much. The Seiko 5, a very iconic watch. You know, it's got a lot of history to it. A lot of people know Seiko and Seiko 5 especially. It seems to be the kind of watch where if you go on eBay, go on auctions, there's like 10 of these watches going a day at ridiculously cheap prices. I managed to pick this up for £20 on eBay. Yeah, I love it, but I'm currently selling it. So if you are interested, eBay, the link is down below. I'm only selling to the UK if you are interested, so sorry about that. Let's get into the watch review, shall we? As you can see, this is the watch, the Seiko 5. I'm pretty confident you can now see the face. Let me get a closer shot. So you should now be able to see the face. It has got that really beautiful sort of striped pattern. As you can see, the date and time is not set correctly, but that's because I haven't worn this in a while. You can see the Seiko and the 5 there and the golden hands. It's got very beautiful golden accents on the face, but the dial is definitely something that when I saw it, it really did amaze me. That level of detail, which if in general, like right here, okay, you can, but like this sort of angle, you don't really see it at all. It just looks like a black face. But then when you get a closer look, it's incredible. It's almost like a little disguise sort of dial. It's very beautiful. But let's get into the basic details of this watch. This is the Seiko 5 reference 70196081. The case is 36mm, and the lug size from lug to the bracelet side, I can't remember what you call this, how bad of me, but that is 18mm. So if you wanted to change out this bracelet, but let's say you want to put a strap on it, a leather strap or something, it's 18mm. The movement is an automatic 70198 21 jewel. It is a very reliable movement, but we're going to get into all the different stuff in a few minutes, so let's carry on. It has a day-date function, as you can see there. Luminous hour and minute hands right here, them two are luminous. Unfortunately they're the only things that are luminous, and I won't be able to give you an example because it seems like the lume is not so great on it anymore. As I mentioned, it's got the black and grey striped dial, which is just incredible in my opinion, the gold markers. And this watch, I've managed to date it and I'm pretty confident it's 1974, but just to be safe I'm going to say 1970s, early 80s. So that puts this watch at around 40 years old, which is definitely not a young watch. It's got a stainless steel case and a stainless steel bracelet, and the clasp is just a basic fold over clasp. There you go. So let's get into my opinions of this watch. As I said, this was my first automatic watch, so for me, seeing that sweeping second hand, as you can see right there, was something incredible. And, you know, being used to a very very solid tick as a quartz movement is having my first automatic watch. It really makes you appreciate watches and the automatic movements. I will definitely give you a few shots of the automatic movement within the video. Personally, the reason I'm selling it, I've not really stated, is because of this watch, the Citizen Eagle 7. They were made around the same period of time. This was made to compete with the Seiko 5, and I have to say, I prefer my Citizen Eagle 7. Maybe it's the white face, I don't know, maybe it's the fact that I've got it on this beautiful suede strap, I'm not really sure, but for that exact reason, I'm getting rid of the Seiko 5 because I need to make room for other watches anyway. I've got a custom made one coming in August, but anyway, we're reviewing this watch. Personally, I like the watch, I really do, and Seiko 5 is very well known. And they're still making Seiko 5s to this day, like new ones, and I haven't had a chance to actually even look at the new ones, like hold them or anything, but the vintage ones are definitely great watches. If you're looking at getting into watches and you want to get started, you want to get your first automatic watch, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you want to just really experience, sorry about the car, you just want to experience an automatic watch, this is definitely a watch you should get. eBay, they've always got them super cheap. I'd advise picking one up. Okay, so let's get into the review. We're going to be doing it on a value, design, movement, prestige and heritage, quality, style, versatility, performance, durability, X factor and total. All these are going to be marked out of 10 and the total will be out of 100. This is inspired by TGV. Like I said, the link to his channel will be down below. It's a great way to review a watch. So let's get into value. As you can see, I have given it 10 out of 10. The reason being is you're getting such a great watch for around 15 to 30 pounds. That's the usual price range. 15 to 30 pounds for an automatic movement watch is incredible, and they come in so many different sort of varieties. I almost, and this might be a comparison a lot of people don't like, but I could almost compare them to Swatch watches. You know, with all the different designs and stuff, you really could go out and collect them all if you really wanted to. And with the different references and everything, it's just, they're a brilliant watch. They stand on their own. With it being such a standalone watch, you know, it being Seiko, it's got that name to it. It's not trying to copy anything else. It is its own design, it is its own watch, and I think that is brilliant because for that kind of price range, I really don't think you're going to get a better watch, and I'm being 100% serious. Okay, next we have design. Now, as you can see, I went from putting that at a 9 to then changing it to an 8. So design of the watch. Now remember, design and style are different. Style is the way the watch looks, design is the way it's been designed. So I have to say, overall, this watch is over 40 years old, as we've already established. And I don't know about you guys, but I think it still looks great. There's not many scuff marks on the crystal, there's not many scuff marks on the watch itself or the bracelet. I think overall this watch has survived incredibly well, and the previous owner told me he used it all the time, and also he didn't ever get it serviced. We're going to get onto that in a minute. Yeah, this watch has survived incredibly well and has never been serviced, therefore it's in original condition. Now the reason I give it an 8, because that sounds pretty good, right? Like the lugs where it's connected are solid, the bracelet itself, this is the original bracelet, is solid as well. Like the case is very well made. I have no problems with it, but one problem I do have is this clasp. This clasp is awful. I do not like this clasp whatsoever. It feels very cheap, very fragile. It's just not a great clasp. Like, these sort of clasps, when they've got something else that folds over, are a bit better. But these ones where it hasn't even got that extra bit that folds over, it just feels very cheap. Like, undoing that just doesn't feel right. It feels like you're gonna pull something apart. And like, did you hear that click? It just isn't very good. I'm afraid one day I'm gonna break it. So that is why I give it an 8 out of 10 on design for the clasp. The clasp just truly lets it down. Okay, now onto the movement. Let me open this case up so you can see. Okay, there we go. I'm hoping you can see the automatic movement going there. As you can tell, you should now be able to tell it's not been serviced, as you can clearly see by the build up on the spinning disc, or whatever you call it. You can see the movement going away there, the coil unraveling and raveling and doing the beautiful movement it does. This movement I give 10 out of 10. Now, as I stated originally, I am no expert on watches. To know that a watch that has not been serviced and is 40 years old and is still running like this with losing probably 2 seconds a day, that's what I'd probably put it at. It's not been tested, that's just what I feel like it is. That's incredible to me that a watch of this age can do that. So I give the movement a 10 out of 10. It hasn't failed yet and it's clearly still running very, very well. Now we're on to prestige and heritage. As you all know, Seiko 5 is a company that has been around for many years. It was the first to introduce quartz movements and it has revolutionized the watch industry in my opinion. Obviously the quartz kind of ruined it, but they've done their best to put it back on track. Seiko is no Swiss brand, as you all know, it's Japanese. It's difficult to give it a 10 out of 10, but for what it has achieved being Japanese and not Swiss is incredible nonetheless. You know, you've got the Grand Seikos, which are easy competition to any Swiss brand in my opinion, and you know, Seiko create quality watches at a reasonable price. I don't see how anyone could go wrong with a Seiko, so therefore I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. The only thing that lets it down is that to a lot of people, not to me, I'm not really that bothered to be honest, but to a lot of people, it not having that Swiss made little thing on the bottom really brings down the value of the watch. To me, a watch is a watch, no matter where it's made, as long as the quality and everything is on point. You know, the Germans are making some incredible watches now. I think the Swiss are having to play catch up right now, and I'm being serious. Like, the quality of these Japanese watches that are coming out at such a fraction of the cost, and the Germans and even the American watches, it's blowing some of these Swiss watches out of the water, to be totally honest. But it's going to be many years until we see the Swiss really worrying about it. But either way, a very, very good brand and great prestige and heritage. Okay, now on to overall quality. Now, as I said, the overall quality of this watch is brilliant. 40 years old, still running perfectly fine. The movement's great. The bracelet is great. The only thing that lets it down, as I've said, is the clasp. It's literally dreadful. I just don't know what else to say about it. It's dreadful, and that's one reason I can see a lot of people switching over to like a leather strap, or maybe even a completely new bracelet. This is part of the reason why I've switched this over to the suede strap, because it's a lot better. This is a bigger size, so it doesn't fit on this. Otherwise, I'd probably put it on this, but then again, it's a black face. It probably wouldn't have gone very well. But yeah, quality is brilliant. It's brilliant for the price. 20 quid. 20, 30 quid, you cannot go wrong. This watch will probably, at 40 years old, last another 40 years without a service. You could probably give it to your kids, grandkids, and it would be running perfectly fine for them. I have to say, quality watch. Now that brings us to style. I have to say this watch it looks great. I like it. I like the style of the watch, and with them having a sort of a wide range of different looks, almost like the Swatch company, it can be very stylish. You know, you can swap out the bracelet for a different strap and make it look even more stylish. But the only problem is the 36mm bracelet, the case size of 36mm. To some people that'll be big enough, but to me, my wrists aren't exactly large, but they're not exactly tiny. This is a 36. Now, as you can see, this wears, in my opinion, a lot bigger than a 36 with the size and everything. This wears too small. Let me show you on my left hand real quick. There we are. So in my opinion, this watch wears too small. I don't have the largest of wrists, but it definitely doesn't wear big enough on my wrist, in my opinion. Now, to some people, they like this kind of size, but to me, I really don't. It's just, it brings the style down, because if a watch looks too small on your wrist, then it's not very great, is it really? That's why I give it a 7 out of 10 for style. Okay, now on to versatility. The versatility of this watch is stupendous. I feel like it could survive anything. This guy said he had it for 40 years, or he bought it in the 70s, he said, or early 80s. I can't remember what he said. I bought it off eBay, so there was barely any information. But he bought it and he wore it to work pretty much every day. This watch has been worn to work every single day. I don't know what he did. It must have been either a very non-demanding job, or this watch is just indestructible, because there's like not even a single scratch on the crystal. There's not a single scratch on the case. Like, there's the normal signs of wear, but it's incredible how well this watch has lasted. You know, like if I pull this out, I can then change the date, the day even, the date, sorry. If I pull it out one more, there we go. Now I can change the time. You know, it works incredibly well. The fact that these functions still work, and then to change the day, you push it in, right there. You just push in the crown, there we go. That's how you change the day. As simple as that. It's incredible. It's incredible how well it works, and that the fact that it all still works. You know, even with this one, I have a bit of trouble every now and again changing the date, so it's easier for me just to keep spinning in a full 24-hour motion until it changes, which is ridiculous. But this one is working perfectly fine, you know, with no service. So the versatility of this watch is incredible. This bracelet is very strong, very durable. You know, you can put a lot of stress on that and it'd be fine. The case itself is water resistant, though I have not tested, so I wouldn't know how water resistant, but it's a brilliant watch. It's a brilliant watch, very versatile. You could probably give this to a kid and they'd be fine with it. So that's why it gets a solid 9 out of 10 for versatility. Okay, now on to performance. I give the Seiko 5 an 8 out of 10. Now the reason being, we all know mechanical watches are not as accurate as quartz. It's a basic fact. So based on that basic fact, if you want a watch that just tells the time, that's all you care about. Something that tells the time, you never have to wind up or shake or do whatever to get it running. You don't have to change the time, you just sort of set it once and that's it. It'll just run until the battery runs out. Then you should go with a quartz. Just go buy some £5 quartz off eBay or whatever and you'll be set. But because of performance is based on how well it runs, it's running about 2 seconds slow a day. That's what it's running at the moment, which after 40 years with no servicing, in my opinion, is not bad at all. Either way, it's still 2 seconds being lost a day, so it's not exactly great, is it? So that's why it gets an 8 out of 10 for performance. Now, durability. Now, in my opinion, durability and versatility are kind of the same thing. As TGV does it, he does these as 2 separate things. This watch is just as durable as it is versatile, so yeah, it can withstand, you know, a decent amount of water. I'd probably not go diving with it, but it can definitely survive the rain. It can survive probably going for a swim in it real quick. I think it'd do perfectly fine. So durability is just the same as versatility. It's great. You will not be able to go wrong. You'll have trouble trying to destroy this. I think you could probably drop it off a bridge and it'd probably survive. You'd go down there, maybe a scuff. That's it. So very durable, very versatile, great watch. Now on to the final thing, X Factor. Now, as I interpret X Factor, that is just the general appeal of the watch. Just overall, would you want to own this watch kind of thing. So with watches nowadays, the prices, the premiumness, you know, the materials used, sorry about that, they are increasingly getting better. So I give this a 7 out of 10. If you're a vintage watch collector, a Seiko 5 is a must-have in the collection, even though I'm getting rid of mine. Shh, don't tell anyone. But in general, it's not, I don't think it's a very like crazy appealing watch. There's many better watches out there. For the price, probably not. But in general, if you can save up 20-30 quid for one of these, you can save up 60 to 100 pounds and get yourself a better Seiko, you know, maybe an Orient, get a second-hand Mako or something, you know. There's many better watches and better choices out there than this. So the X Factor for it is a 7 out of 10 just because it's not the most desirable watch in the world. It's kind of a must-have if you're into vintage watch collecting, but in general, I wouldn't say it's a must-have. And that puts the total at 85 out of 100, which is a solid 8.5 out of 10 for this watch. You cannot go wrong, really. Anything over an 8 is a can't go wrong, in my opinion. So yeah, you're getting a great watch for the price. I don't see how you can go wrong for the price at all, and that's what it comes down to, really. How affordable this is. It's 20 to 30 pounds on eBay, second-hand. Brand new, you're looking at about 70 pounds for the newer ones. I'm not too sure on them. I'm assuming they've stuck to their guns because Seiko are pretty good on that. So it'll have automatic movement, it will have a great build quality, it'll probably last you many years. So yeah, I don't see how you could go wrong. It's a beautiful watch for the price, and I don't know, if you want to get into watch collecting and all that kind of stuff, I'd say start here. Get yourself a Seiko 5, appreciate the watch, and move on from there. This isn't a watch that I think, like, a lot of people have owned this watch. I don't think a lot of people keep it forever. But yeah, get into watch collecting, get one of these, and eventually replace it with one of these. So I hope you all enjoyed that review of this brilliant Seiko 5. If you did, be sure to leave a like, leave your comments. If you own a Seiko 5 yourself, let me know what you think of yours. I'm not saying my opinions and my ratings are definite, but definitely give me yours. I'm more than interested to know. Let me know a few of the watches you own as well, what you think competes with the Seiko 5. So in my opinion, what competes with it is the Citizen Eagle 7 that I've got on my wrist and the Orient 3-star. I'd say they're really the competition for this watch. They're priced around the same, they're all Japanese, they're very quality watches, and they look great. So yeah, definitely a must pick. If you can't get one of these, get a Citizen Eagle 7 or an Orient 3-star. I hope you all did enjoy this video, and if you did, please do leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Now what I'm gonna do is hopefully get a load of sexy shots that hopefully you've seen throughout this video of this watch. So wish me luck. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all in the next review. Peace out, guys. Bye.